Guys.
What's up, everybody?
Oh,
welcome
my God.
to the Losers Lounge.
Jeez.
Oh, boy. Man, no sad trombone or
what
nothing.
What a day.
What a day.
Not even 2 p.m. We're already a bunch of losers.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm already going to have to start drinking early here, I guess. Nuggets fall to the Knicks 110-116. It is their 5th loss in 6 games.
Yep.
This one, there were some positives, there were some negatives. Such a downer the way it ended, though.
The way it started and ended.
Nuggets were in control of the game and then just lost it all in one fell swoop, it felt like. I'm joined by the fellas, though. Brendan Vogt.
Oh, man. So thrilled to be here. Chat's popping. Vibes are high.
Yeah, is that right? All those things true?
All my big takeaways are positive. Excited to be here.
We got Harrison Wynn.
I'm blaming this loss on the setup on the chairs today.
Am I going to have to move back to the middle?
I don't know why this happened in the first place.
Because I like to be able to see the panel. Sometimes,
Right. I get that.
I can't see both. Now I can
get
see
that.
everybody. I could pay attention. I can notice now if Dev's not paying attention. I could call him out. Superstar Dev over there.
I'm always paying attention, for one. That game, didn't pay attention.
That's probably fine.
I know D-Line picked a good one to be off. We're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Did we hit bets tonight?
No.
I'm telling you, Super Bowl and March Madness are always my favorite to bet, and I always lose. And then I lost on the Nuggets again tonight. I got a quick recap. I actually took some good notes. I felt bad for not taking good notes. So I took them tonight. 10-2 start for the Knicks to open this game. As you mentioned as in your opening bit there, Harrison, the beginning and the end of this game were atrocious, and that's where Denver's really shined. Their starting 5, start games, close games, they've been phenomenal. The best first quarter team in the NBA. They lost by 20 or 19 in the first quarter against Toronto earlier this week. And then tonight they get off to this horrendous start. It's something of a trend right now. And who was the cause of it? Who was the culprit in the first quarter? Jalen Brunson, giving the business to everybody. There's not any one player that got the business from Jalen Brunson tonight. He was giving it to everyone in that first quarter. And then we have Thomas Bryant and Christian Brown off the bench tonight, so we kind of wonder who's going to play. Jeff Green was there. That was the rotation early on. 36-29 Nuggets. And I don't know how you guys felt, but Nuggets being down 7 at the end of the first quarter felt like a miracle. I thought they should have been down 15.
Yeah.
Nuggets bench was getting no stops early on. Malone clearly doesn't have a lot of trust there. This was a game, I don't think it was a reason the Nuggets lost by any means, and I don't even think Denver got a bad whistle. But there was a weird whistle in this game.
Very weird.
It was a very strangely officiated game. And the guy who I thought got the shortest end of the stick was Mitchell Robinson. He had 3 fouls, and I thought all of them were looked like nothing happened. Bruce Brown had a great stint. Maybe we should be less good. I mean, this was one of the best stints he's had in the last 10 games or so. He was playing some very good defense, but also scoring quite a bit. And then Jokic in that second quarter really got going. I mean, Denver went from down, and they swung all the way to take a lead between the second and third quarter. And Jokic had a couple of beautiful assists, just lofted over the top. Looks like he's throwing a hard pass to the other side, but then it just drops right into AG's pocket for some easy dunks. And then in the third quarter, Nuggets were absolutely rolling to open the half. This is where they built their big lead with 6.5 minutes to go. How much were they up? Do you guys remember what the big lead was of the game? I think it was 13 points.
Nuggets up 13 points?
13 points halfway through the third quarter, just getting anything that they want. And like that, the faucet turned off for them. They got sloppy. They stopped playing defense. They stopped rebounding. That was a huge story. Second chance points were huge for the Knicks in this game. And then I thought Jokic started passing up. I mean, I thought Jokic had played a perfect second and third quarter. And then all of a sudden, he started passing up shots, and I thought everything changed for the Nuggets. It's 91-91 going into the fourth, and the bench absolutely got worked. Absolutely worked to open up the fourth quarter. Man. Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown made a mistake, yanked immediately, and it was a bad one.
I think he stayed in, though.
No, he was out. Aaron Gordon came in at center, and then they made another substitution.
I was thinking of that backdoor cut Christian Brown let up.
He did. Malone called a timeout. He was out.
No, he stayed in. He
was still in there in that one?
We thought he was getting yanked, but he stayed in for a second.
You do go to Aaron Gordon at center, though, in those minutes. So Thomas Bryant gets the yank, and, I mean, rightfully so. Jokic comes back in down 4 with 7.5 minutes left. 5-0 run immediately. Nuggets take the lead. I felt like the Nuggets were going to win this one at that moment.
Yeah.
They had some things going. And to be honest with you, the second chance points were frustrating. But outside of that, I thought Denver just missed the shots they needed to. And I thought the Knicks hit a couple tough ones that they needed to. I mean, I don't want to say it was a make or miss. Denver shouldn't have coughed up the 13-point lead. They shouldn't have allowed the 10-2 start. But down the stretch, it kind of just felt like the ball didn't bounce their way. At least that's my read on things. Nuggets get the loss. Superstar Dev, give us your big takeaway.
My big takeaway is this is the worst time to go on such a bad play. We are like now comfortable in the losers lounge because we hear so much, and for them to go on this type of streak is what it is. At the end of the season, there's not many positives going on right now, and the scary part is how do you turn that around? That's my takeaway is things are bad.
But do you feel though, Dev? Because as much as I agree with you, and look, the streak is what it is. They've only beaten Detroit in this step. But do you feel like this one was less of a... The other ones, the Nuggets looked bad. I thought they looked like themselves for part of this game tonight, more so than they have in the previous 5, and they still lost.
I think it's no is my answer, just because they shot the ball better than them. They had better field goal percentage. They lost the rebound in a battle, and also they just could not close. And the Knicks are not a horrible team, but this is a team that one team today was like a championship contender, and they lost. So I don't know how you find a positive out of that.
Yeah. Eric Harrison, what's your big takeaway?
My big takeaway is just this bench continues to be an abomination. Like, this bench is so terrible, man. And it's crazy how we're here and there's 12 games left in the season, and this bench just still sucks. It's so bad, man. Like, I think they are inching slowly but surely, which is the Nuggets' way of these things. They're slowly but surely getting to a better bench, I think, with Christian Brown, with just playing Aaron Gordon at center sometimes. But it's just crazy how we're still here with the fact that the bench just sucks. And they're just giving the Nuggets nothing. Like, Thomas Bryant and Jeff Green combined for 1 rebound today.
And that came at the very end of,
And Jeff Green played 19 minutes. Thomas Brown played 9 minutes. 1 rebound. Like, how is that possible?
19 minutes with 0 rebounds is...
It's wild.
That's rough,
it's just
man.
like, I can't believe we're still here. We're almost at the end of the season, and the bench still is just so disgusting.
To your point about this bench, though, Malone's trust reflects this, and I think one of my things that I'm looking at in the stat sheet that stands out to me is Michael Porter Jr., 28 minutes. He's also a guy. I mean, Malone just has the guys that he trusts a lot. Bruce Brown played as many minutes as Michael Porter Jr.
How is
tonight.
Michael Porter only playing 30 minutes, man?
Well,
How is he only shooting 10 times?
Well, he was not just a team. Oh, no. Okay. He was a team high plus 11. He wasn't quite a game, almost a game high, but he was a team high plus 11. But yeah, just doesn't play very many minutes for some reason.
Thomas Bryant, he is so ineffective, man. Like, he has not had one even just flash of, like, reliability. Like, Denver just can't get him going in any way. It's bad.
His defense is always bad. The scoring, he's just not getting that many touches.
Yeah.
But then you have to be like, okay, adjust, rebound now. Like the team tonight, if you would have just gone out there and said, hey, nobody's rebounding. The Knicks are grabbing a bunch of second chance points. Go out there and just keep them off the glass. Did not happen. He grabbed 1 rebound in 9 minutes. So that was tough. The bench, we're gonna have to circle back to it. What's your big takeaway to Vogt?
Just rebounding. Not even a big picture takeaway, just how they lost this game, rebounding, which some of it was like there was also some atrocious shooting and some very long rebounds. But to me, we joked pregame about early matinee Saturday in New York. It's the Hangover Bowl. That cropped up for Denver in the rebounding department to me. Maybe they would play a good defensive possession as a team and then flat-footed watching the ball go up. New York was crashing, and that's like effort, focus, sharpness. To me, that's where the matinee stuff factored into this for Denver, and I think it cost them the game. Because there's that game, like you said, in clutch time was a 1-possession game essentially, and like if KCP knocks down that 3, Denver probably wins this game. But that also tells you when it's that close, like when the rebounding margin's that big. There were so many possessions that Denver could have kept a run going or turned the faucet off and stopped the bleeding, but they couldn't. So rebounding for me was why they lost this game.
And I think the intensity, it's the end of the year. You're probably a little fatigued. How much energy do you put out? How many minutes do you play certain guys? But tonight was one where they did not have the requisite amount. And let's be honest, Jokic was at the center of this for a lot of it. You know, he was the guy giving up a lot of these second chance points. And I do think that some of this was they're a good rebounding team and they drive a lot. They get a lot of drives, a lot of stepping up, so you're out of position. I think the team collectively needed to be responsible there. But Jokic also just had a bunch of 50-50 ones that he almost always gets that he didn't have tonight.
I agree with that, man. That was, I mean, it was a weird Jokic game because there were certain things that he did at such a high level for short spurts. But the turnovers, there were too many. They were too bad. The rebounding was, I think, where his lack of effort really showed. And then how passive he got. But it was weird because for 5-minute stretches of this game, you're like, oh, he could score every time. He looks ready to go.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, my big takeaway, I think, remains sort of this. The Nuggets have lost their mojo, but I feel like they've lost their identity, too. KCP went 0 of 5 tonight. He had a bunch of great looks. I mean, he had a few of them that were wide open, A++ type looks there and didn't get them. But then you get Jamal Murray to go 5 of 7. But to me, you know, the fact that Michael Porter's back to playing sub 30 minutes for some reason, you're trying to find anybody that can play effectively tonight, and he can't. Malone clearly doesn't trust him the way that we all would like him to trust him. The fact that your bench is basically a 3-man bench right now. I mean, I don't know what it expands to, but right now it's a 3-man bench. It's Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, and Christian Brown, by the way, a little bit of trust, not a lot of trust there. That's the thing is, again, people keep asking me, how worried are you? How worried? I mean, obviously the worry goes up a little bit. I still am not supremely worried. You know, I still think there's time for Denver to land this plane, so to speak. But I do look at it and I go, their mojo's gone, and I just feel like the trust is eroding, the identity is eroding, and I just don't feel like they're playing like themselves.
Yeah. It's like you want to just sit here and tell yourself that like it's the end of the season and they're coasting and they've taken their foot off the gas. And deep down, I think a lot of that is true. But you're right. Like this team is unrecognizable from the team that we watched for most of the season. And now the question becomes, and this is probably what the question is going to be facing this team over the next couple weeks, can they flip the switch and turn it on again for the playoffs? Like that's what the question has become. Because they've gone into cruise control. That's what we're going to be asking ourselves for the next couple of weeks.
You mentioned the identity or this or that. Like the 2-man game hasn't really been there that much. And tonight there was a fourth quarter possession, 3 minutes to go, where Yoke's trying to do his like you go here, and nobody could tell what was going on. They all run into the paint, and the Nuggets don't get a buck. I think Jamal Murray gets a pick and roll, runs into a crowd, tries to shoot a floater and misses. And you're thinking, that's usually where Denver's great. They know exactly who they are. On that play, nobody knew what to do, and they run into a crowd. They just have lost their mojo.
Yeah, you talk about that identity. That used to be them just being on the same rhythm, being on the same page where guys just knew where to be. And the wild part about it is this is the same core. This is the same unit. They're a healthy team right now. It's not like they're mixing and matching guys in, but that goes to show where they've lost their mojo. They're not on the same accord as they once were, and that's where the losses are coming in. That's where they're not having the same type of efficiency or just hitting the notes that were once there. So that's what it has to be about, like down this stretch, is just getting back on the same page.
Yeah.
What's funny is I thought there were stretches in the second and third quarter where they did that. You know, the bread and butter action with AG and Jamal spraying free for those wide open threes. Like, that's Denver Nuggets basketball. Yes, it was clearly a miscommunication on defense as well on the New York end. But that's that stuff in the beginning of the year where, like, that's not about any one person overperforming. That action should lead to points every time, right? You just can't guard these guys. We saw some of that in the third. Just distressing that we saw that and they still lost. But I think this is an interesting one in that there's probably 4 or 5 different factors. If you wanted to offer it as the main reason they lost, you're standing on solid ground. There's a handful of reasons. But I actually did think in the third quarter we saw signs of Denver basketball.
I definitely am more encouraged by this one if it weren't for it just being like they're starting to stack. You're not, the more losses stack up, you obviously feel worse and worse. But I do feel from a process standpoint, this one was better than most. I will say, I know a lot of people, and we're going to get into the specifics of this, are going to focus on offensive things, guys making shots, Jokic being aggressive, this or that. Nuggets had a average 117.2 offensive rating tonight. That's pretty much what they average on the season. I think it's actually exactly what they average. They had a 125 defensive rating tonight. I mean, the problems remain the defensive end, and tonight that defensive end was the offensive glass. You know the real worst part about tonight's game, though?
What?
This ugly, short, hairy dude at the bar for the Knicks. Like, I would never get Knicks fans. We got
Ugly,
this like
short.
ugly, hairy, like little troll guy at the bar. He's by himself, and just like every Knicks play was like the biggest thing. It sucks. Occidental, Yard House. There's multiple Knicks bars in Denver.
Those are Knicks bars? Man.
I mean, it's sad.
Well,
We're
you
down
could have
bad
went
here
to
in Denver.
any bar. For
could've
him to
really-
choose the
I
Denver
know.
bar, like that is
And to
wild,
show up
especially-
being that just like I said, trolly, ugly, hairy,
Adam loved
just
it.
kind of slimy.
Adam
looking
Very
dude.
hairy.
Adam loved it.
Huh?
You loved it.
What, the Knicks guy?
Yeah, you loved it.
I did not like a Knicks guy coming to our bar.
I know. I'm joking.
Oh, I fucking
You're
hate
fired
it. That's
up.
like,
Yeah, you're fired
so
up.
we actually had 2 Knicks crowds.
I know,
today. It was,
man.
like,
That
weird.
really just added insult
We
to
rarely
injury.
get like opposing fans at the DNVR bar, and
Yeah.
got them tonight.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets let us down. What can I say? It's like with the Bulls game. Did the Bulls game matter? No, but there was all these hairy, ugly, trolly Bulls fans in the arena.
In Denver, we have the best weather and the best looking people.
All these people coming from New York, and they've just been beaten up by New York, and they're like out here just to troll. You hate when I talk shit about New York.
No, you're going in on this guy.
I know.
I actually couldn't pick him out of a
Poor
crowd.
guy.
I didn't-
Do you even know what he looks like?
No, I didn't think he was in. Ugly, trollish, hairy.
Poor dude.
I have no idea. All right, Harrison, take us to our first break.
Guys, Breck Brew is the official beer of DNVR, and they are giving away the ultimate game day experience just a little over a week away, March 30th. It's a Thursday. Nuggets playing the Pelicans. You can win 2 tickets, courtside, row 2, club access, parking pass, DNVR gear. Go to thednvr.com/Breck Sweeps to enter, or you can hit that QR code right there on the screen. Must be 21 plus. Winner is selected 1 week before the game, so get in on this soon. Just a couple more days to register. The Breck Brew Ultimate Giveaway, that is March 30th. Also, shout out to Legal Pete's. We love Legal Pete's. We got a location right down the street from the DNVR bar on Colfax. We're always there. We do company outings there. We love Legal Pete's. They are giving away for the entire month of March. They're donating $1 to Youth on Record for every vodka fresh press that's sold. So stop by one of their 10 locations. They got 10 of them. Order a Tito's Fresh Press, and you know that money is going to support a good cause. Legal Pete's, your stop for burritos, buddies, beer. They got a lot more than that. A great bar, tacos, nachos, whatever you want. Check out Illegal Pete's.
Yeah, no, like Knicks fans always wear like the full Knicks outfit. You know what I mean?
going in today, man.
Don't you know how like if you wear a Nugget shirt, maybe you got the Nugget shirt hat
This is
combo. It's
actually
a lot.
true. This
The-
is-
the- but the
this is
Knicks guy will
actually
have the
true.
Knicks shoes, the Knicks
Yeah.
socks.
It's so
the
true.
Knicks
And it's
pants,
blue and orange too.
Yeah.
It's like so loud and
And
disgusting.
Knicks chain.
And in New York, like when you're walking around, if the game's at 8 p.m., they're dressed like that 10 a.m.
the whole day.
ready to go.
Our guy,
Oh,
did you see
okay.
what jersey he was wearing too?
Which one?
The Knicks fan.
The Derrick Rose
He's
jersey.
wearing a Derrick Rose jersey.
Oh,
it's like
geez.
so
That's
so
a real Knicks fan.
classic, man.
That's a real Knicks
It's
guy
the
right
most
there.
classic Knicks fan.
That guy's not a bandwagon guy. That guy's
Probably like a
real-
That's a
diehard
Knicks
listener
fan.
of
That
the
guy
show.
comes right. He's a
He was
bridge.
hoping you would kick him out of this bar.
Bridge. Oh, he came here to get kicked out. I was like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Bridge and tunnel people for sure. All right. Well, let's get into some of the players. Let's talk about Jokic. 24 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. He was a +4 tonight and 11 of 17 shooting, although just 1 of 4 from 3. Most of those coming in desperation time.
Yeah.
The thing that would concern me about his passivity is that I do think it can become a habit. I don't worry too much about it. He has 2 30-point triple-doubles this week, guys. Like, that's rare.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I do think that it's becoming a trend, his passivity, Dev. What do you think?
I think that the trolls are in the comments trying to make us go against Yoke. I don't think that Yoke was 100%, but also I think that it was just because he was passive. He
It was
still,
like 2 or 3 plays, too.
Yeah,
it wasn't that
it
many
was. Yeah,
plays.
he was still dominant. They still had to form a wall to try to slow him down. Still has some ridiculous passes in this game.
Yeah.
The shots did not fall from deep, or it would have been another hyper efficient night from him. You just want him to be what we just seen from him, where he's coming up with 30-point games,
Right.
where he's being super aggressive and just dominating in every facet of the game. The big thing for York right now is just the defense. He's allowing guys to just go to the rim and score at will, and that's where he's not the MVP, which
Right.
we've already known. So I don't think that this was like a horrible or a bad York game. You just wanted him to just dominate scoring-wise.
Yeah, I thought he was fine, but he needed to be better for Denver to win today. And he was just sloppy, I thought. Like, the 6 turnovers was the stat that stood out to me.
That's the one for me.
Like, just sloppy, not locked in, kind of like the rest of his teammates. He let the Knicks get on the offensive glass too much, I thought.
See, to me, that's the complaint.
Yeah.
The
Just-
turnovers, even like I have to go back and
Yeah.
see because some of these I think were like.
He was fine. Again, like, he was fine. He was good, but he wasn't great.
Yeah, I agree with that. The rebounding was probably the big thing for me. There was, in that third when he was so dominant, and even kind of the start of the fourth, there are a handful of absolutely wide open threes he generated that guys just could not knock down.
Definitely.
It just happens every night, but I'm just saying the box score might look way different. But ultimately, I think there was that kind of oomph that he wants this one. Like, if you watch Jokic 82 times a year,
Yeah.
this is one to forget about, you know?
Right.
So it's...
He didn't play like inspired. Like,
Yeah.
he like, if you're Jokic's teammate today, you're not like, oh, like, I'm going to war behind that guy. Like, that wasn't one of those games from Jokic. I feel like he was just kind of going. You know, he was just playing.
I think we should play body language doctor here on Yoke for a second because I'm with you. Like I think the critique. If we go through his numbers: 18, 12, and 8. During this losing stretch, 37, 11, 11, 35, 20, and 11, 28, 8, and 7, 30, 10, and 9. Like 30-point triple-doubles, 3 out of the 6 games. And we're sitting here being, he needs to be more aggressive. We need a 40-point triple-doubles out of him. But the numbers aren't what's telling the story. What's telling the story is, does it look like he is all right, everyone get on my back, I got this. And it's like, no, he's still kind of going through the motions of the process or whatever it is. And I will say, here's one thing I think from watching and rewatching these games. I think Yoke's annoyed at the way the Nuggets are playing. And I think that there's a little bit of I'm not going to save this. I'll save us if we're doing it right and we need saving, but if we're not, and I don't know, again, maybe that's not it at all. Maybe he's tired, whatever it is, but I think he just looks way more annoyed than he was for most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I can see some of that too. And it also just might be, the grind of the regular season wearing him down. Maybe there's some of that, and he can get rejuvenated for the playoffs. I think that could definitely happen. But no, I see that too.
Yeah, one of the things that like shows you how aggressive he was not. He went to the free throw line one time.
Really?
One time.
Jeez, man.
That like just shows you he was not trying to get through the
Yeah.
double team. He was not trying to force the issue. And that's like what is the difference. He is a good passer, so he can like create in different ways, but you still want your guy to be getting fouled or being aggressive where everyone has to like try to slow him down in different ways. I like when other guys try to score through the double team just to show, hey, you're going to have to send it a little bit quicker. You're going to have to put a different type of guy on me. And we've seen that a lot throughout the year, so it could be the wear and tear of the full season. But you just want him to get there. That's the only difference for me is the aggression.
Yeah. Let's move on to another player here. We'll talk about Jamal Murray. Goes 5 of 7 from 3. He gets 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 9 of 14 shooting. His shot was there tonight. What did you see from him, Wind?
Thought he played pretty well. The defense, he was getting roasted by Jalen Brunson at the beginning of the game, and I feel like Denver's defense improved, as the game kind of went on. But, offensively, you love to see the 3-ball go down. That was probably the best aspect of his game, going 5 of 7 from 3. Again, like, he was fine, but, he just wasn't quite good enough. And I mean, the bench with him, we can get into the bench later, but the bench with him continues to be, again, an abomination. It doesn't work. He was fine, again, like fine, but that wasn't good enough.
They were really doubling him in that last bench stretch, I feel like, and they couldn't generate. Part of it is with that lineup, it's like you can find an open 3, but who's taking it, Like even the Jeff ones that he hit felt like prayers. I think the biggest feather in Murray's cap today, It's the 3-point shooting. He shot open and early. He did that for like a 3-week stretch this year. He looked like an all-star. He got hurt, missed some games, stopped doing that as much. It's not just about jacking up 13 threes. It's like you're wide open coming off the screen, or they miscommunicated, or they went under. Just take that thing. And I thought he did today. And that, he's just too good of a player not to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to hit those shots, man. So that was much better from him. Defensively, it's still not great, I think. But he took that one shot in crunch time that he missed that I kind of hated, the layup. But I actually thought it was another step in the right direction for Jamal today. Shooting the 3 open and early is good. It's a good sign.
Yeah, the defense is like clearly an issue, and you want him to step up on that end of the floor, especially as of late, because he hasn't stopped anything. He hasn't played with that fire and passion, and that's what motivates him. That's what gets him going, and also that's inspiring for the rest of the team, where he can get the guys going. He is a leader of this squad. So, being the point guard, being a leader and not a young guy in the league, you want him to inspire the team and get them out of that rut along with the MVP. The positive, the one I say positive in this game was Jamal finally got the offense back going, which we have not seen in a while, where he's just kind of forcing shots up. He's knocking down the 3 ball. He got to his spots a couple of times and finished. So you want to just see it keep on gradually getting better, where then it could go back to the defense, where he has the offense and defense going, and that's when Denver's at their best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the defensive part is interesting because they were targeting him late in the game.
Oh, yeah.
With both Julius Randle, but also with Jalen Brunson, and early on in the game targeting him with Jalen Brunson. So, I mean, as I mentioned, Jalen Brunson giving everybody the business, but Murray is going to be challenged in that regard, I think, as the season goes on. And he's a better defender than what he's shown. Same with Yoke. Those two guys are better defenders. Through the regular season, you have KCP, Aaron Gordon, those guys to kind of take on the lion's share of the load. 11 games to go. We're at the crunch time here. Is it 11 games?
12, I think.
Well, I thought 12 coming into tonight. Let me know. I want to get the facts right here.
They are, let me see, 47 and 24 now.
Yeah, so there's 11 games. 11 games left. You're going to have to start upping your defensive intensity as well.
That's the thing, yeah. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, can they flip the switch? That's the story. That's the question with this team now.
Murray was so... I think he was actually pretty good tonight for the most part, but somehow we're all kind of like lukewarm on his game, and he's the DraftKings Sportsbook's king of the game.
There we go.
This is how down bad we are tonight. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and like I said, 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. It's good to see him see the ball go through the basket a little bit. He was tonight's leading scorer for the Nuggets. Was he a game high? Yeah, he actually even outscored Jalen Brunson. Brunson finished 9 of 20 with 24 points.
Jalen Brunson fell off as the game went on.
Has a weird rotation, Thibodeau, man.
I know.
That's one word for it,
dude. Michael Malone and Thibodeau, very similar.
If Quentin Grimes played real minutes, like starter level minutes, the Nuggets would have really been in trouble today.
Quentin Grimes,
he's so good.
He and MPJ should have just gone and played one-on-one on another court.
Speaking of Michael Porter tonight, he goes for 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the 3-point line, 4 of 10 overall. Just 28 minutes. 28
I think he played 30.
Minutes.
I think you got to refresh your box score there.
Mine says...
I think he played 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Oh, man. So he did get to 30 minutes. I'm still upset about that, though.
Me too, man. It's ridiculous. Like, how is this guy only playing 30 minutes? He's your second best player. Right now, I feel like he is. And, he even rebounded today. 5 rebounds in 30 minutes. He was a +7. I just really wonder what Michael Porter's thinking when he plays the first first 6 minutes of the game.
Don't ask too loudly.
Goes over there and sits on the bench for like 20 straight minutes of real time, 30 minutes of real time, and then gets in for the last 5 minutes of the half. Like, and what must he be thinking over there, man?
And let's be fair, right? Like, I'll sing his praises at every turn. That first half was not good. Wasn't just missed shot making. His defense was really bad. He did stay engaged on the boards and figured it out, I thought, by the second half. But once he hit those 2 threes in a row, including the step back, Jamal was wide open. And he's got it going. Like, he's just got to shoot more, man. He just has to. Like, I know.
Porter was wide open on that one too. Hold on a second. I see Dev over here laughing. Did you think that was a look
I
off?
love that he took the shot and it went in.
I'm just saying, like, you make a pass if you're not open, but he was also open.
He dribbled
But the
himself
fact
open.
that he made it is why, we're not so mad about it.
Yeah.
Jamal was wide.
Wide. That's a
wide
one-way
open.
pass.
But I love the fact that he is hunting for shots when he's out there. He's getting his shots up, not turning down many attempts in this game. A lot of them didn't fall, but at least he's getting them up because they're going to need him to let him fly. There's times throughout this game and what we've seen lately where not only is he just sitting on the bench for a long time, like long stints in the game, but when he gets back in, he's not getting shots up. So he's definitely out of rhythm and then he'll knock down a shot or try to shoot himself back into it. But if he can stay stay engaged for the entire time that he's out there, he's going to open up the offense. He's going to, create gravity. He's going to make it where teams just can't focus on Jokic the entire time. So shoot. Keep shooting.
Aaron Gordon tonight goes for 14 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. He does grab a steal, 6 of 12. I thought the thing that stood out to me about AG tonight was that we're worried about his
7 assists,
physicality.
wow.
He was very physical tonight.
Had to be with
Yeah.
Julius Randle, right?
I mean, you have to be. But I mean, even offensively, he was attacking. He was creating contact.
I love the 7 assists too, because that's another sign that for at least stretches of this game, things were healthier in the half court. AG is a guy who can play make a little bit, at least in that tertiary slot. So I thought he was active. I think you could probably still ask for a little more from him defensively, but he's pretty low on my list of reasons they lost this game today, Wind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was good. I mean, he gave them what they needed, and you like to see him playing physical because I've talked about this before, but like that is what the Nuggets are going to need from him in the playoffs. Like he has to be a beast inside. Like he's got to use his strength inside. Like he's going to need to be the Nuggets muscle like in the playoffs. I think he's going to be playing backup center a lot in the postseason, and you need him healthy for that. Like you just need him be able to use his body, carve out space, just impose his will inside. So it was good to see him get back to that today.
He had a couple of plays in a row where Yoke found him for open dunks and just like finishes around the rim. I wish they went to that like a few more times where he's very active in the offense and just opening up the offense with just like moving around, being aggressive, getting to the free throw line. I just feel like a lot of times he's just around. He's just hovering and just trying to find his spots. And we already, talked about the fact that they don't seem to be on the same groove. I think it's with him not being part of the actual offense. The buckets that he gets, they're kind of forced. A lot of just like step backs, side steps.
He had a couple shots.
Yeah, he has like some forced shots where it's not coming like in a groove.
He hit one of them, I think, though.
He
Oh,
like
and it
two
made
of
him
them.
take it even worse.
Yeah, those mid-range step back.
Man, that was a
You
wild
want him to be part of like just like throw up, dunks. And you see that at times. You just want more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last starter here, KCP, goes 2 of 7, 0 of 5 from 3 tonight. He was off. He was off of his 3 game. And I'll say this too. KCP was part of the early go trying to guard Jalen Brunson and getting cooked tonight. So part of me thinks that even his defense, we've seen this a couple times lately. The Nuggets are in a rut all around, but even his defense has been in a little bit of a rut.
Yeah, it has. I mean, he's just in a slump shooting too. And, it happens. It's not something I would be concerned about, by any means. But this whole team just feels so stale right now, And part of that's natural.
Yeah.
Because we're at this point in the season and with the drop-off that just happened across the board, they just seem stale.
What's it going to take to not be stale? Like
The playoffs, like that's honestly the
I
thing,
kinda
man.
think so too.
Do you feel good
like-
about that, Dev?
No, I don't.
No, I don't. Absolutely not. Just because you can't turn on a switch, and not only can you not turn on a switch, Denver is shown to be a pretty bad defense. You have to start getting stops. You have to start getting it done on that end of the floor because we all know the offense is going to be there. They have to play inspired. They have to play encouraged basketball. And not to say this is great because it is not, but at least the pressure is back on them where they have to figure it out before the end of the season because you go into a playoff series, any of these teams are looking to beat you. Every single team there feels like they have they're going to have the best chance against you, and you're the number 1 seed out west. So you just want it to just be more inspired basketball.
I think
They're also only 4 games up for the 1 seed.
And
Memphis and Sacramento play today, too.
Oh, there you go. So one of them is going to win.
Well, not against each other, but they both play.
Oh, okay, I see. They do have some pressure games coming up because, like, the Knicks tonight, this game was buried by the end. All the games this weekend, every weekend on Locked On NBA, I do the best games of the weekend coming up. This weekend, no, there was no good games. Like, March Madness is happening. The NBA clearly is trying to, like, let them have the spotlight. But there are some big ones coming up. And when you say it's going to be the playoffs that matter, I mean, the Milwaukee game coming up is going to be a big all eyes on Denver game. The Philly game, all eyes on Denver. The Suns game, all eyes on Denver. And so when I say maybe it is just the playoffs and we're going to have 11 more games of that, but to me, if there's 11 more games of this, my confidence will be 0. Honestly, going into the playoffs, I will just be
How could it not?
I'll have no confidence in this team. I think that hopefully it happens sooner, but I do think that there's going to be nope, let's see if the Nuggets can't sleepwalk through this one or you're going to get absolutely embarrassed and be the talk of the town.
I do think there's something to stiffer competition. I know these teams are all playing hard and outplaying them. I'm not naive, but the Nuggets do play up and down. This reminds me a lot of the start of the season in some ways. And I think actually this game did bring it out of them for short stretches, maybe 5 minutes here and there in the middle of the game. But as they play better teams, I do think for that reason alone, right? Like, look, if we sleepwalk, we're getting blown off this court. And I do think pride will take hold at some point. If it doesn't, what are you going to say? Like, they definitely won't win in the playoffs if they play like this. We know that. So we'd like to see it again for sure.
I hope KCP's not worn out.
He's played a lot of minutes.
He played a lot of season. If you look at his 3-point percentage, it's dropped off every month from where it was at the start of the season. He's shooting 33% in March in 7 games. You hope he's not just running out of gas.
I do think a handful. I mean, it's easy to say anecdotally. I would bet some percentage of these is that the looks got worse and worse in March. Now, today, he just missed open ones.
Yeah.
But the other thing to your point about him wearing out, he plays so hard. He's actually the one guy on this team that any given day, it doesn't really matter what the calendar is, he's probably going out and playing to win. And that's admirable, but maybe it comes at a cost, in late March.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, we have to get to what's really plaguing the Nuggets right now, their bench. Try to figure out what's the next move. And Michael Malone's bag of tricks here.
Can't wait. Guys, let's talk about Roman. Roman is the digital health clinic for men addressing a variety of sexual health needs and offering genuine medication that helps achieve and maintain a stronger erection. Roman offers discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. No waiting rooms, no hassle, just a straightforward digital experience from the comfort of your home. To learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to row.co/DNVR. row.co/DNVR. Again, to learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to row.co/DNVR. It's hassle-free. Again, no waiting room, just a straightforward digital experience from the comfort of your home. And men with low T, getting testosterone levels back to normal can help increase your libido. Roman offers a testosterone test, which includes lab processing, and if it's appropriate for you, treatment for low testosterone as well. So again, go to row.co/DNVR to get hooked up with Roman. At DraftKings Sportsbook, they've still got the NBA No Sweat same game parlay going. I don't think we did very good on our bets today, but it's okay because, we're right back at it tomorrow. It's the beauty of the NBA or the ugliness of it. The NBA No Sweat same game parlay, how it works: put down a same game parlay bet on the Nuggets. You have to opt into that no sweat option as well. If you miss your parlay, hey, it's all good. You can just get a free same game parlay the next day. Try to win that money back. Make sure to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up with code DNVR. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. That's with code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
One thing about this is we get into the bench now. One thing about this is we're going to start talking about which players play. And there is, I think, a right and wrong answer to that. And I do think Malone is inching ever so slowly towards the right combination of players. But here's the bigger, broader issue. The Nuggets don't know how to play when Yoke's not on the court.
Right.
They just don't know how to do it. Like, I mean, Thomas Bryant has played poor enough that I think, and he's been given enough games that I think it's fair to look on and say, hey, circumstances have been perfect, this or that, but he's not making an impact and move on. But it's equally as concerning to me that the Nuggets keep getting players. You know who played great tonight?
Don't say it.
You know who played good tonight and made an
Don't
impact
say
in this game? Isaiah Hartenstein.
He did play really well.
You want to know something crazy? Thomas Bryant has almost played as many minutes for the Nuggets as Isaiah Hartenstein did.
That is wild.
Guys,
That's
I'm telling you, there's something
crazy.
to the fact that when Yoke's on the court, the Nuggets are really good. He's sort of the system. And when he's not, the Nuggets like don't know what to do. And so before
No
we
idea.
even get to the bench part of me just worries that it's not a person. I mean, I think it's a personnel issue in part. But part of me is just like, I don't know, man. There's something larger at play that they always suck when he's not on.
Yeah, I was gonna say they need like a playmaking five, but that's kind of what Hartenstein.
He didn't
can
play
be.
though. I mean, he didn't play.
I know. But the only time the bench has ever looked competent is when they've had a playmaking five, like
Plumlee.
Mason Plumlee
Yeah.
or DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, man,
and
God
that
damn
guy
it.
really just doing most of the dirty work. The bench has never looked like they have any idea of what to do. Like they just look lost out there. They have no idea what they're running, no idea like what their identity is. And it's been a constant all year. I can't believe we're still talking about the same things with the bench that we were talking about in game one. I just can't believe it.
I mean, the biggest thing is like it's the offensive philosophy.
Yeah.
They run everything through Jokic. They need a playmaking big. The last two times that the bench looked good was with Boogie Cousins and Mason Plumlee because they're playmaking bigs. It's the closest that you're getting to Jokic.
But isn't that a thing you have to have though, Dev?
I think so. For
shouldn't
the
be,
Nuggets,
but-
I think for the Nuggets and how they play.
There's
Because
not that many of those guys.
exactly. But then they went and got Thomas Bryant and DeAndre Jordan.
Right.
Are those guys?
No.
No, not at all. So now it's like that's where the identity is because now it's guys stepping out of who they are, trying to operate with guys that don't make sense along them. Today was a great Bruce Brown game because he got to play alongside Jokic for most of his time there where he can operate. You're not doing those same type of things with Thomas Bryant. You're not doing the same type of things with DeAndre Jordan. And it's not a knock to those guys. It's just a bad fit. So there does need to be some type of change where you're going to have to run plays with the second unit. You're going to have to put different personnel out. It's not going to work. It does not matter who you enter there. It is not going to work. Rather it be a Reggie Jackson, a Bones Highland, a Bruce Brown. Those are not the same type of players when you have a center who does not play make. So I just think that it's tough for anybody there.
I think it's the biggest criticism and the firmest ground to stand on while criticizing Malone and his staff over the Jokic tenure, over this tenure, the Jokic era. They have not gotten... I mean, can you name one player they got more out of in Denver in the non-Jokic minutes than their previous or next destination? And Thomas Bryant looked pretty good off the bench in LA. I know he couldn't defend, but he sure could score against Denver.
He can score against everybody. Thomas
I do
Bryant
not
was
think he's a bad
volume
player.
scorer
I do not
per
think he's
minute.
a bad player, right? And like, let's run through the list of scapegoats that we've circled through. Not that any of them played well, but from Reggie to Facu to the different centers we've seen this year, there's no one personnel change that has fixed things. They have looked really bad in the bench minutes the whole time. And Malone talks a lot about how teams don't get to practice anymore. And to me, the Nuggets, the bench suffers from that clearly more than any other element. Like, these guys do not know how to play together, and it's so clear how little they've played together.
Thomas Bryant shooting 20% worse in Denver than he was for the Lakers.
Thomas Bryant, when he got traded here, Thomas Bryant was the most efficient scorer in the restricted area in the NBA. Like, his attempts weren't up there with a lot of guys, but, like, he was a bucket in the paint with the Lakers all season.
His percentage through his career, his rookie year, 38%. After that, 62, 58, 65, 52, 63, 65, and now at Denver, 46. One of
It's
these
crazy.
is an extreme outlier. Like, extreme. And I'm not trying to completely absolve it. I think he's also played poorly. And
Yeah.
as I mentioned, he needed to rebound. If he would have just grabbed 9 rebounds tonight and done nothing else, it would have been a positive contribution. Instead, he grabbed 1. But there's just something, too. Like, these guys, none of these guys should be as bad as they look when they're here on this bench without Yoke on the court. But now let's try to diagnose, where to go from here. I do think Christian Brown broke into the rotation, but he's in the Michael Porter category where Malone clearly doesn't trust him, and it takes one mistake before he gets the yank. He gets 14 minutes tonight. Bruce Brown played 28 minutes tonight. He has more trust than Michael Porter Jr. from Michael Malone so far. And then you have Jeff Green, who I think is like the new incumbent. We kind of wondered what would happen when Vlatko comes back.
Can we talk about how Vlatko played incredible for most of this season?
Yeah.
Sprained his wrist,
Right.
got back for one game,
Played really
predictably looked bad after not playing.
Out of the trust.
And now is just gone?
Yeah.
Like, what? what happened?
I don't know.
What
I don't know.
happened?
He should be playing a little bit more. They at
just
least
gone.
with Vlatko, you run the offense.
Yes.
Because you're not having to rely on the big man to make plays. He's also a playmaker. He's a better playmaker than the other bigs. He can play backup center. But at least it's an offense that you could like navigate through. Right now, the bench has no identity. They're just throwing just anything out there and just trying to make it work.
I know. What is a good identity? I mean, part of this is, again, Christian Brown. I swear his plus-minus just reflects how much he plays with Jokic, because he was a minus 13 tonight, and it's like, well, he played all bench, and guess what? He got yanked. Surprise, surprise. Bruce Brown, good game tonight, played a lot with Jokic. I mean, surprise, surprise. But I do look at this, and I go, Bruce, Christian, and then from there, who knows? We've tried Reggie. We've tried not Reggie. It hasn't been much change. We've tried Thomas. We've tried not Thomas. Not much changes. I do think there's room to try Vlatko Zeke got healthy again. Do you try like a Vlatko Zeke combo? Do you try something else?
You've got to keep trying stuff.
You got to keep trying something.
I think I'm past the point of trying to like let a group figure it out. Like I think we're past that. I think we can pretty safely say that they're not going to figure it out.
Zeke Naji play tomorrow night. It's the second night of a back-to-back. There's no travel, and I think it's underrated how much travel affects back-to-backs.
Yeah.
A back-to-back with no travel is like not a real back-to-back.
Yeah, I would like to see Zeke tomorrow night. Absolutely. I'd like to see Zeke. I'd like to see Vlatko. I still believe that Thomas Bryant can give you something. It's just he's used so terribly. And some of that is his fault. Like, he's got to find a way to be aggressive, but find ways to get him the ball, like, in the paint. Just, like, try. He's being so underutilized. It's maddening, I feel like. And I'd be pretty pissed if I was him, Just, like, give me the ball in the paint. Like, let me do what I've done my whole career. And he hasn't done it. He just hasn't been used right here.
Especially when you talk about needing scoring, because it'd be one thing if they were scoring elsewhere, but they're not. They're actually, I mean, tonight you got 2 threes from Jeff Green. That doesn't happen very often, and yet you still only, you still have a pretty lousy bench scoring stint here.
Right.
So, you have any thoughts here? You're just stewing. I like every time I look over, you're like,
I know, man. I'm trying not to. So you got to thread the needle. These are fun shows to do. No, I think it's a mixture with Thomas Bryant too. Of like he when he does get a look now, it's just this forced kind of vomit all over himself. Like, oh, I got a shooting opportunity because they're just ignoring him. Now he's also been very bad, so there's that part too. So chat saying he's not good, we get it, but this is the point. These guys even still played better in other markets, right?
Right.
And so why can't they extract some of that? Because we are talking about clearing low bars. I do think it's March 18. Have we seen a bench look that looked better than the Zeke Naji switchable?
No, that's honest to God the best lineup
It was
they've come
like
up
2
with.
games.
And it wasn't
fine.
good, but it was like, you know what? They're going to defend every night.
And it's not that he played great, but the look it gave the bench, I thought, was preferable. So, to the question of should he play tomorrow, I don't know. You only got so much time left. I kind of think that they should try Zeke.
Yeah, I think that they would try Zeke. When you have Zeke and Vlatko out there, is there any offensive expectation from that group? No, not at all. You're going to try to get it done defensively. They are going to show up on that end of the floor. They are going to go full-out effort. When you throw out Reggie Jackson, who's just like a year removed from 17 points a game, when you throw out Thomas Bryant.
That's crazy.
When you throw out Thomas Bryant, who has found success and was playing like incredible, there is expectation of wanting them to score, having to try to get the ball to them and let it happen. When those guys are not out there, it's just like, okay, we're going to run our offense. We're going to run our sets. We're going to just try to just buy those minutes instead of forcing it. Right now, with those 2 guys, everything is forced. Thomas Bryant has played forced the entire time that he's here because there's so much expectation for him to be that guy instead of just going out there and playing basketball. So you just want them to just calm down. And I think having a Zeke Naji who is finally available will calm some of those things down where you can insert him for those, few minutes and you could just temper those expectations.
Yeah. Man, we're down so bad. Really curious to see what Malone does with these next games. I mean, the Nuggets have a really weird week ahead when you look at it. They've got tomorrow a game of Brooklyn, which is a revenge game. We talked about it was the Knicks game. You don't want to get back. It was too long ago. The Nets one was last week, so that one I think will be fresh on their mind. Then you have a couple days off in D.C./New York because they don't play till Wednesday, but they're not going to come home.
That's crazy. They don't play till Wednesday.
And then they get a couple more nights off. So it's a little bit of a weird one before you come home for those big home matchups. In fact, they play Wednesday, and then I think they don't play again until Saturday. Is that right? Did I get that right?
They play Wednesday, and not until Saturday.
I'm telling you, they have a very weird week
They
this
have
week.
2 games between Monday and Saturday.
Oh, thank God they've got a back-to-back this weekend.
But in all sincerity, though, there might be a little bit of can you just sneak a win in against the Nets? Hell or high water, because then you only have 1 game in 5 days before you get your real big challenges again. And honestly, it might be the best thing for the Nuggets. Practice time in between there, a light practice, a lot of rest. I don't know. We'll
practice the bench offense.
try to figure out a bench unit. All right, let's take a last break on the other side. Super chats.
Guys, check out the Game Time app. Join 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app. It's your one-stop shop. You can sit courtside. You can sit front row at a concert. You can sit wherever you want with the Game Time app. Use our link in the description. It's right there. It's also in the podcast description if you're listening to this as a podcast. Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Don't go messing around with all those other third-party sites out there. Just use Game Time. It is your go-to, and use our link in the description. It's very important. Let's also throw out a DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. It's got to be for tomorrow's game. I know you've got one.
Nuggets,
oh, no.
Nuggets Nets?
Oh, no. I love it.
Nuggets, what do you
Our
think,
best
Dev?
bet. You know what? I'll make it with you as you make this bet since I know how serious we are here.
I really can't take the Nuggets tomorrow to win.
Man, we're down so
I have
bad.
so
We've
little
broken
confidence
wind.
in them.
We've broken wind.
Make that the DraftKings pick of the week.
Nuggets to lose?
Nuggets to lose. That's going to be the DraftKings Sportsbook
The Nuggets
pick.
are favored.
The Nuggets
Here's-
are minus 2.5 tomorrow?
Yeah.
What's happening?
They were favored in this game, too, I think.
No, they were 1-point underdogs.
I can't take the Nuggets. I'll take the Nets.
My God, man.
DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week.
That's the saddest pick of the week we've ever done.
That is
guys.
That's how you
sad.
get them out of that.
I'm sorry.
That zone.
Yeah, I don't know how you could bet on the Nuggets tomorrow. That would be me being disingenuous to say I'm betting on the Nuggets.
People super chatted us, guys.
Thank you, people.
God, sicko doesn't even begin to. But I mean, thank you. BPOW444 super chat. When do Zeke and Vlaco get to play again?
Hopefully tomorrow.
Malone's got to find minutes for him.
Well, I don't know. Jeff Green scored 10 points today.
We need
I
to
love it.
get to
Vlad-
the bottom of what actually happened with Vlatko.
You know, Vlatko and Zeke, you know who's
Did Malone really hate his appearance on this show?
Him, it's not a, maybe.
Yeah.
Might have
I
happened.
shit.
wouldn't push
Oh,
that angle
crap.
too hard.
I just.
Yeah. I can pinpoint the moment, too.
What was your first impression of
Yeah,
Michael
that was
Malone?
it. That was it. Okay. Freddie, that was it. Freddie, $5 super chat. Please tell me why it seems like we don't like rebounding
discovered
anymore.
it.
Worst game by Joker in a while. Such a lame loss. Brick City. I mean, rebounding, they have not been good at that lately. I would just guess that is effort and focus, and one of the first things to go when you're sort of playing like crap.
Yeah.
Molly Hunt, good news. We raised $17,700
I saw this on the timeline.
last week for therapy
How
horses.
crazy is that?
That's
Almost
$7
$18,000. That's 7
crazy.
horses?
A very generous
Good
anonymous
work,
fan
Molly.
sent us way over the top. The Nuggets fans are the best, even when we're down. Thank you all.
Molly,
Love it.
you are the
Love it,
absolute
Molly.
best. She took
That's
the $10
incredible.
from that account, by the way. That's super chat. Yeah, so take 10 off
Yeah,
of
just
the
saying.
total. Yeah.
If you should follow up where your money went. That's
I'm
all
just
we're saying.
kidding, Molly. Great work on that. As
You
always.
know, $5. I know everyone wants to
we
blame
got to
the
get Bruce a horse.
bench, but the starters coming out a lot of these games recently. Very true. So Unserious has made the bench play with a deficit. I mean, yeah. Everyone does need to play better right now. I agree with that.
Yeah. Every starter was still a positive today, I think, other than
Murray.
The one that played with the bench.
But there's
Right.
this weird thing that happens where you get forced into this like either or framing when you're like, yeah, no, they could play better too. Like, yeah, they
absolutely.
lost. Neptune, hello DNVR, big fan of the show. I love all of you. Keep up the good work.
Man, that's the
Thank
kind
you,
of super
man.
chat we love to see. And hold on, how much was that, Kel? Look at that. 137 somethings,
I didn't
man.
know what that. I didn't want to touch
What
that.
is that?
I don't know what that
What
is.
is-
It looks
Yeah.
like an AirPod.
Yeah, what is that?
Man, somebody help us out that knows what that
Yeah,
is.
I-
Maybe Neptune 1K. That was
I straight up
incredible.
don't know what that is.
I
but
have no idea. It's a symbol I've never seen
that
before.
just-
We
It's
just
like-
know it's not dollars.
Is it it's Bitcoin? Is that Clarity checking in to say Denver better win against Washington. I'll be watching live on my B-day, and they never lose every year when they play at DC. MV3 better show up. well, thank
man.
you for speaking the loss into existence.
We're
Clarity.
also getting into the point of where it's threatening super chats. They
Yeah, yeah.
better.
They
They
better.
better not.
They better not lose.
I swear to God, I'll beat Vogt. I'll beat the shit out of him if the Nuggets lose that game. 55555-ish. Losers Lounge is the new Winners Lounge. Oh, God. You're too good at this. Another bad loss. Down only 12 more losses till 35 bad losses in the West. Still not worried, though, Copium.
I mean, that's the only thing you can say. Just still not worried.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, what's the point of being worried?
Maybe
Yeah,
they'll
really, what is the point?
Maybe they'll play better. Big name K, Big Namek. I'm sorry. Adams Nick Troll sounds like the average New Yorker.
So true.
Hey, I'm from New York.
Yeah.
Careful.
You should have seen the fit, man. It was Nick's head to toe.
That guy was actually kind of awesome. Like, they're not allowed in this bar, but I respect it. Roshan
You love
Robinson.
your East Coasters. He's like Malone, man, and his love of East Coasters.
Yeah.
You go to bodegas. Where else can you do the bodegas?
Yeah, that's right. It's the only place you get a sandwich and toilet paper.
That's right,
You're
man.
That's not true. When Zeke Chanchar had minutes, our bench was fine. We could switch and rebound. Did Malone forget?
It is funny that that's the most Malone lineup, and he went away from it immediately after 3 successful games. They're defending a little too hard for my tasting.
For such a principled man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roshan Robinson, Brown, Zeke, Chanchar, Murray should be our bench.
Man, Murray. I have such little faith in Murray carrying that bench.
How long have we tried the Jamal Murray stagger for? The entire season? Because that's what it seems like.
And all it means is more minutes for him.
Is it illegal?
That's the thing is, it's not like it's taking away from his other minutes. It's just adding to his other minutes.
Is it in Michael Porter's contract that he can't play with the bench?
man
it must
alive.
be.
It
Like
must
that's
be.
the only explanation.
It
man.
is.
Like, legit. him
Or Malone
him
hates him.
shooting over the top of 2 people, preferable.
So yeah, it'd be
I
the
don't
best
need to-
shot the bench
Don't need to
gets.
see another Jeff Green post up. Egg Shin.
He had a
by
couple threes today.
By far, he did actually.
I know, but that's not the recipe.
You sure? Are you
I
sure?
know. I
You
mean,
know what I
you
mean?
sure?
Like, it's not like
0
hey,
rebounds,
man,
10
he hit
points.
you're preaching to the choir.
0 rebounds, 2 threes. We're like, hey, there we go.
Oh my god, it's so awesome.
19 minutes,
So
0 rebounds.
awesome how MPJ could be the solution to so many problems.
Like, just if you're bored during a game, just watch Michael Porter on the bench. Just like look at his body
And
language
just
on
so
the
you know,
bench.
that's
Poor
what I
guy.
look like when I'm Michael
that was
Porter Jr.
yeah.
is on
I look the
bench.
same watching the game today.
Just like-
it's crazy.
Super
Neptunes,
chat.
by the way, says that those are AirPods.
Oh, it had nothing to do with.
I
the
don't know what that
currency.
means.
That was a joke. It was a
Yeah,
joke.
I don't know how to.
Well, then we don't know. We still don't know what
Maybe
they
it
are.
was $137.
We have, all right.
Is that dollars?
Oh, yeah. We're rich.
It's Monopoly
Man.
money. Egg Shin, by far the most encouraging game of the last 6, except for the one they won.
I mean, honestly.
Honestly, you might be right, actually.
Oh, you mean when they were tied with the Pistons going into the fourth?
Shut up, they covered. By far the most encouraging game of the last 6. Trying to look past this slumpy to the playoffs, where I know the Nuggets will elevate.
Oh God.
God.
Well, maybe not anymore. Sorry.
That's an altitude.
Let's leave the worry
investigator in the
behind and
chat.
fly to the moon together. Is that a thing we say?
He should have said, what was it?
Let's leave the worry behind and fly to the moon together.
You know what? I'm for it. I'm all
Fuck it,
for
dude.
this.
Let's
I'd
do
love
it.
to go
Let's
to
go to
the
the
moon.
moon, man.
It is Elevate presented by Honda Motors.
Let's
Oh,
go to
you
Shotgun
screwed up.
Willie's. Is that the moon? Super chat from BPOW444.
Oh, man.
David Adelman, when?
Wow.
These super chats
Not
now.
this year, you guys.
Yeah, the point guys, no one's getting traded.
No one's getting traded. No one's getting fired.
This is the team. Ben Mack, friend of the show, down bad. Are you all feeling like a championship is possible this season?
Yes,
I mean,
of
it's definitely
course.
possible. If you're asking me if my confidence is the same as it was 2 weeks ago, the answer is hell no.
Definitely not.
My
I mean, you
confidence
can't
is
be as
shaken.
confident as you were in them a couple weeks ago after this stretch, but championship, yes.
Is your confidence in
Definitely
the
a
same spot, Dev?
possibility.
God,
No, I want them to play some defense. I want them to go on a couple of wins. Also, we've already talked about it. If they go and beat the Bucks, if they go and beat the Sixers, my confidence is all the way
We're back,
up.
baby.
Like, you just,
Yeah,
even if
sure.
you just play them like really tough, where you just show like
That won't do it. That
it
won't
does
do
it for me because
Really?
it just
If they
shows
just
that they
play
care.
hard in a loss?
I want them to just show like that they care, that there's passion there, and they're getting ready for the playoffs. I think that would turn it around for me at least.
oh, what an incredible note to end on. Laking ball.
The hater. Celtics
No
hater.
one has ever paid more real money to hate.
I know.
So shout out. I respect.
He's
it.
paid $10.
I respect it, dude. All right, guys. Nuggets are frauds. Just trying to help. Just trying to help for the heartbreak the Nuggets will cause after losing in the second round. And for Vogt, I am praying for the Celtics win the chip just to see your face. Joke's on you. I'll never go live on the air again.
Actually, we're going to schedule a watch along for Celtics Suns finals.
Hit that outro music.
Just
there,
Vogt
KL.
in the studio by himself.
Nuggets have me so down. I'm taking tomorrow off, you guys. You
Damn,
guys
I
solo
wish I
without
could.
me. I'm
You know
done.
what? Win coming, baby. Winner's lounge coming.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for it. Nuggets are in a hole. They're just going to have to keep digging
Yes.
to get their way out.
Just keep chopping.
Just keep chopping wood. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Thanks to everybody who super
Thank you,
chatted.
guys.
Thanks for everybody who came by the bar, except for that one Knicks guy, that
What
hairy.
if he's a huge fan of the show?
He's a huge fan. He's
Super
like, what?
chatter.
Not coming to
Don't
watch.
come to the bar to troll the Nuggets. Everybody hit that like button on the way out. We'll see you.